AskReddit by Jan Arcade. What is the greatest single movie scene ever filmed? Deleted. The wild thing is the sepia tone scene as she opens the door is also Technicolor. It's just the entire set was sepia toned. An absolutely masterful practical effect. When the T-Rex showed up in Jurassic Park. I never noticed until recently, but there is no music whatsoever during that scene. 99.9% of films would force in a score to up the tension or pop in a few stingers to make sure the audience is perked up. Nope, not the JP Paddock scene. The rain served as the score and the scene was 1000x better without background music. The original chest burst scene from Alien. Unless you're 7 years old and your dad's an irresponsible asshole, then it's the worst. Goodfellas, you're a funny guy. You could cut that tension. Great scene. I was going to say the long shot from Goodfellas, when Henry and Karen enter the club through the back door. The baptism scene in The Godfather. Michael not only renounced Satan but he also settled all the family business that day. Also, Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sakes. The good, the bad and the ugly, the showdown at the Sad Hill Cemetery. Tuco running through cemetery possessed by his greed while that magnificent Ennio Morricone score plays. Alan and Ellie first seeing the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. The fact that I heard John Williams' score as soon as I read this shows how iconic it is. The night vision sequence in Silence of the Lambs is great suspense. I remember seeing it in the theater. There was so much tension. When he reaches out his hand towards her face, a woman screamed. You could hear the audience's butt cheeks clench. The lobby shootout in The Matrix. It's so well edited and the visual effects are amazing. The ticket guy at the theater told me after I bought a ticket for a different movie that it had started 20 minutes before. I was 15. He told me just to go to whatever other movie I wanted that was starting soon. I went into The Matrix with absolutely zero idea what it was about. I only knew it was rated R. Mind blown. The opening of Raiders of the Lost Ark set the bar awfully high. The opening of The Last Crusade was also quite epic. Deleted. Broke into the wrong goddamn rec room, didn't you, you bastard? No matter how insufferable I find Tom Cruise, watching him question Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men is mesmerizing every time I watch it. I'm not a fan of Cruise the person. Cruise, the actor, is near peerless. Truman finally realizing his reality and trying to escape it. When he's on the boat in the storm, and you can really see that he'd rather die trying than give up, it always has such an impact on me. Beach scene is Saving Private Ryan. And they knew it would be powerful enough that the VA opened a special hotline,
https://atnews.com/article/4B0E8F5C588437303E506C1336A23C close bracket during opening weekend to counsel vets dealing with PTSD triggered by the film. The final scene of Last of the Mohicans. I just posted this and didn't realize anyone else did. I always think of this scene as one of the best in cinema. Everything is just epic. The scene in Schindler's List when the Nazis are rounding up Jews in the multi-story building to a frenetic piano soundtrack, and then it shows Nazis playing the same piano in one of the rooms, laughing and dancing. The joy and fun the Nazis are having compared to the panic of the innocents. Spielberg is a master. The following of The Girl in the Red Jacket as well. That movie has so much powerful imagery. The Charge of the Rohirrim still gives me chills. Right now. Right for ruin, and the world's ending. Death. To Kill a Mockingbird, stand up. Your father's passing.
The scene in Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey where the ancient hominid picked up the bone and used it as a weapon. From memory, then threw it spinning into the air. The shot follows it up as it slowly changes into a space station and we're brought into the future. In that single sequence we're taken from the moment of the very first use of a tool to its ultimate conclusion millennia later. It tells the story of our technological evolution in a few frames. It implies the subsequent technological advancement of humanity through history. Breathtaking. Genius. Flawless. I saw that in the movies in Hollywood when it first came out. Packed to the rafters. Throughout the entire movie you could hear a pin drop. One of my very favorite movie-going experiences. It was 1968 I think, but still so vivid in my memory. Full Metal Jacket. In the beginning. The fairy fucking godmother said it. Out fucking standing. Close tie between the I could have saved more speech in Schindler's List and the Mata introduction in Madagascar 2. Oscar, there are 1100 people who are alive because of you. Look at them. Chills. Apocalypse Now Ride of the Valkyries helicopter assault on the beach. Robert Duvall's portrayal of Lieutenant Cole Kilgore, great name BTW, is still one of my favorite characters ever. He is only in a few minutes of the film but his attitude sums up the American spirit in my book. Friendly, warm, absurd, confident, optimistic and amp, callous all in one. My favorite line is at the end of the Napalm monologue when he laments, sadly, someday this war's gonna end. Such a strange, beautiful, horrible character and one that rings true to my experience as an American. The opening scene of Up. That montage of a life together was pure poetry. Edit, including a link. Alien Carl's Life https://www.youtube.com/watch?vef2bk. Made the same call in another comment before I saw this. What an emotional beatdown that scene causes. I hate it for that as few movies can do that to me, but that one gets me every time. Also gives the entire rest of movie more meaning. All without a single word. Parting and crossing the Red Sea from Prince of Egypt. Most beautiful bit of animation I've ever seen. The fucking whale silhouette just blows me away every time. I'm not a religious person, in general, but I love Prince of Egypt. One of the greatest animated films ever, and some of the best music too. Who's he? He's an asshole, sir. I know that. What's his name? That is his name, Sir Asshole, Major Asshole. And his cousin? First class gunner's mate Philip Asshole. How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? Yo. I knew it, I'm surrounded by assholes. Keep firing assholes. What's the matter Colonel Sanders, chicken? My comment is 6 hours into this post, but I want to point out how crazy it is that all of the top 4 comments of this thread come from 4 different Spielberg movies. Just goes to show how much of an impact the guy's movies have had on our lives. At my time of posting. 1. T-Rex appears in Jurassic Park. 2. Beach landing in Private Ryan. 3. USS Indianapolis monologue from Jaws. 4. I could have saved more from Schindler's List. The scene in Bruges when Ken is going to shoot Ray, sees Ray is going to kill himself and then stops Ray from killing himself. God yes. That movie made me really understand how cinematography can change a movie on top of the dialogue. Also made me visit Bruges in winter because it's like a fucking fairy tale. Are you not entertained ? All jokes aside, Gladiator has top tier scenes. The last fight scene is so good. The Battle of Carthage and the reveal my name is Maximus Decimus Meridius. When Lane Meyer skis the K-12. Truly a sight to behold. A man beaten. The once great champ, now, a study in mobishness. No longer the victory-hungry stallion we've raced so many times before, but a pathetic, washed-up, aged ex-champion. The beginning of There Will Be Blood is up there. No dialogue, but you're able to find out so much about the main character. You know Daniel before the story even begins. The music is great too. Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead did the soundtrack. Been waiting on this to be mentioned. That final scene is prime Daniel Day-Lewis and Paul Dano.